Welcome back to Systeme.io Success Stories, where we highlight entrepreneurs building smarter, scalable online businesses. Today, I'm joined by Britt and Ness, two powerhouse strategists helping online entrepreneurs with AI-powered graphics and businesses, as well as funnels and strategies through Systeme.io. Brittany built her six-figure business using Systeme.io, from everything from courses all the way to her affiliate marketing program. Ness, on the other hand, is known as the Shopify Queen, scaling past $1 million on Shopify before realizing that Systeme.io had the scalability and affordability to streamline everything she needed at a much better cost. Together, they've become the powerhouse, proving what's possible when two forces collide. And welcome back to our success story with Systeme.io. We have today two lovely ladies building up an empire over here on Systeme.io with the digital resale vault, but coming soon. Can't wait to jump into the rebrand, but we have Brittany and Ness here. Hello and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. We have some time shifts around here. We have 3 different time zones meeting up and busy moms, which I'm really, really excited about. So considering that we're all busy moms, I'd love to just hear a little backstory about how this partnership came to be and how, let's just start there. The partnership between the two of you. I'm intrigued in how y'all met and what you're building with Systeme.io.
For sure. So I guess I'll start. Ness and I could have been looked at as competition with each other. We were both in the resell space, and both of us were, I was really more focused on courses. Ness was more focused on products in those spaces. And so people could have looked at us as competition, but we never looked at each other as such. I guess we both ran our own businesses completely separate for probably almost a year, I would say. And we both kind of reached this spot where we were like, there's got to be more to this. Like, we just kind of reached a spot in our business that felt like we wanted to scale and grow larger, but we didn't feel we could do it anymore on our own. Ness reached out, like, I was actually at my lowest of lows, and I told her, like, literally the night before she reached out to me, I was in bed. I was like crying my eyes out, like, there, just trying to find the purpose, trying to find the right path forward, because I felt out of alignment, and I'm always like very strong on staying in alignment. So I was at my lowest, and she reached out like, hey, want to have a chat? And that's pretty much how this partnership started, honestly. We jumped in on a call together and just kind of hit it off from there.
That's awesome. Well, that speaks into the fact that y'all knew each other already. Ness, can you speak into that?
Yeah, so when I first started, I just started, and then I felt like I always struggled design-wise, creativity-wise. I have a really strong background in digital marketing and e-commerce, and I struggled design. So when I launched and I'd see Britt's work, I'd be like, how does she do that? Like, oh my goodness. And there was also one occasion where we'd always been talking, and we were always sort of supporting each other. But there was one point for me that really showed me the type of person Britt was, which was there was a problem that there was something that happened. And anyway, Britt handled it like the queen that she is. And it was more so that that's how she treated me. And then I was in sort of a spot where my brand was growing so quickly. I just couldn't keep up by myself. Like, the demand was burning me out. Like, when I first launched, I made 6 figures in my first 3 months. Like, that was not something I was prepared for. The 3 months after that, it just kept doubling, and I burnt out, and then like I crashed really hard. And then like Britt, like her and I always, even since I've been working, we go through the same sort of phases of life together. And so when I reached out to her, I was like, let's just have a chat. Like, I don't know what it is, but I was like, I got to talk to her. Like, let's see if there's something. And then I was so scared because we actually hadn't really had a proper conversation, but I was like, I'm the person that's like, nah, we'll see. The worst she can say is no. So I'm like, hey, do you want to catch up? And then it sort of just went from there.
Okay. So it sounds like right off the bat, there was a lot of unknowns and hope, but a nudge, and you both went forward with
Yeah.
that. And I've seen
Yeah.
with partnerships, you can go farther faster because you finally have someone
Yeah.
walking with you
Yes.
through.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and what
I
we
love
love
that.
is Ness is in Australia. I'm in the US. So when I'm sleeping, she's working. When I'm, when vice
Yeah.
versa. So like our business truly is running around the clock. And that has been pivotal in everything we've done as well. It's just been like super amazing to figure it all out, get our routines down, and allow us to have more of a family presence, just more, just what we want to be doing in our
Yes.
own lives. It has allowed
Yeah.
us to do that a lot more without the burnout. Like that's the biggest thing we really push for people is like there's a better way. You don't have to burn yourself out. Like you can find a better way through
All right.
systems, through funnels, through automation.
Let's
That
step
kind of
into
stuff.
that a
Through all
little
of
bit
it.
because Brittany, you both, y'all both mentioned in your bios that you speak to the entrepreneurs and that you want to create that freedom. But you just touched on something that I really, really would love to hear. Maybe Ness, you could step into this because I believe you have the older children. The freedom that a digital business and online
Yes.
marketing can do for you. Like, what kind of
Oh,
freedom is
absolutely.
available as stay at home, work from home moms?
Yeah. Go ahead, Ness. Ness has been to
Oh, I'll go
Dubai.
first.
She's been
I'll jump in.
traveling.
This is like I've had this plan in my brain. Like I've been working towards the goal of working from home for 10 years. Like that was my goal of like one, by the time my kids are grown up, my life starts because I'm done my parenting because I was an 18-year-old single mom and I grew what I have from there because I always had a plan. I always had a vision. And um, I retired my husband, and he's the stay-at-home dad, but which means we're both there for our kids, which I can't tell you how that's changed our family dynamic of just being happier. And we travel more. We travel more around Australia. We went for it was completely spare of the moment because that's the type of person that I am. It was like at the end of last year, we booked Dubai, we went to Abu Dhabi, we had Christmas there, we had New Year's in Bali. And I was like, this is why. Because like when you work, you get 4 weeks off, but then it's like you're pumping 4 weeks like of a year worth of stuff into this. And it's just like our kids just know that we're present. And that's the most important thing to me is being present with my children and making memories. Like we just go surfing or we go to the beach or we do things that are really simply, but the best thing is we do it together. And that's what freedom means to me. That's what everything is that we do is that we can be at home with our kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Brittany?
Absolutely. And I'm in a, similar,
Yeah.
like we have very much the same life values and goals. And so that's a huge part of why Ness and I have worked so well. Like we are always thinking 10 steps ahead and, we just drive together. But when it comes to family, same thing. Like I have the same feelings as her. Like we want to travel, we want to do things. I'm actually recording this in our camper right now. My family and I are getting ready to be digital nomads and start traveling all over the US. I'm homeschooling the girls. Like, we're about to retire the husband and hit the road. So, like, this has been a long
Yeah.
time dream of ours. And, it's like, that's the same for me. Like, I feel very passionate about my kids are only young once. I want to be there for everything that they do. And I want to be able to support them in the best way that I can. And I want them to experience all that this world has to offer. Like we live in such a small town, like
Hmm.
5,000 people, and there's just not much culture. There's not much, just anytime you travel, it's like, oh, this is where I'm meant to be, like this is what I'm meant to be doing. And so chasing those feelings of like, let's do this all the time. Like, why not? We're only young once. Like, let's get out there. And the kids were all for it. So it just made our decision so much easier. So we're getting like super close to hitting the road. We've been living in our camper just to like trial run it for like 6 weeks now. And it's been going amazing. And we've just been living
Wow.
out at my in-laws farm, but pretty soon we're going to hit the road and just take over the US.
That's amazing. I love it. So
Yeah.
y'all actually answered a question that I normally ask near the end of like, what is the financial freedom or the gift that entrepreneurship has given you? You both just said the freedom to travel, to
Yes.
have experiences, to be present with your kids, to be that digital nomad and know that the business is still running because of, and this is where we're going to get really techie, the
Yeah.
automations,
Mm-hmm.
the funnels,
Yes.
all of the ads, having strategy and systems set up. And so I can't wait to kind of like pop open the top, and look inside your engine that makes this run. So
Absolutely.
let's see. Should we start with where you started? Can y'all kind of give me like the tech stack of where you were and the jump to Systeme.io and why it was so seamless? Like, where were you and why move?
Yeah. For sure. So for me, I have built on System, and the whole reason I jumped into System to begin with was because it was free. Like, just to be honest, I was like, I don't know if this business is going to work. I was a part-time photographer at the time, wanted to just make the transition to fully stay home, and just do everything digitally online. I saw that amount that could be made and like what was happening in the online world. And I was like, I have to get in on this. Like, this is life changing. And so I found System and I found it was free. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to give it a go, I'm not out anything. So I'm going to build out my first freebie, my first funnel, and get some traffic going and just kind of see where this takes me. And I started noticing like people were also interested in that. Um, so it transpired into, a 6-figure business. And then eventually I had so many products and offers that I was like, there has to be an easier way to like house all of this stuff rather than just selling it once. Like there's got to be a better way. So I had started to build out a subscription, and Ness had the same thing going on Shopify, which I'll let her chat about as well. But for me, it was, this big vault essentially where all of the resale source resources that we had made for the past year were housed inside, and people could join for a subscription or a one-time fee. And so, when Ness met up, we both had the same thing going. So it felt right for us to kind of jive that together and just do one vault and do, half the amount of work essentially, but also two creative minds with different perspectives. Like, that has been huge for our customers as well. But I'll let Ness chat about like her experience with Shopify and why to come over, like what made that transition possible.
Yeah, yeah. So, because I've been in the corporate e-commerce world, fashion, high-end fashion, sports lifestyle for so long. And so naturally for me, I started with Shopify because I know Shopify and Klaviyo that before I get to systems, that they're the king and queens of each other. They work so seamlessly together. And the best thing about Shopify is it does have a cart feature. So multiple people, or like people can purchase multiple things at once, which brings up your average order value. And the statistics that it has on Shopify is next level, especially because I'm such a data driven analytical person. So there's something, stats is something and data is something that I look at consistently to grow the business. And then as my business grew, this is where my problem started to arise, is because my email list, like it's all well and good when you start at a small fee when you first start. And then as my brand grew so quickly, so did my expenses because my audience grew so large that Klaviyo, as soon as your email list goes bigger, I was paying $800 a month. And I was like, oh my goodness, just like that's a lot. And it annoyed me for so long. And when I'd see Brit's funnels, I'm like, they're so pretty. Like, and Shopify is so basic on their landing page. Like, all I had to design was mock-ups, and I'd just be like for someone that wasn't creative, I was like, I just want to be creative. Like, how do you do that? And I'd never heard of systems before because over here in Australia, I don't think it's a thing because I've never in my life heard of it until I met Britt. And then when we joined, in our first meeting that we had, I was telling her all the problems, and because we were discussing systems versus Shopify, what do we want to use? And it was like, maybe Shopify. And I was like, no, no, no. I was like, because of the cost. I was like, we're working so hard and so much money was just going to them just to use their platforms. And so it was a huge adjustment for me to understand the funnel side of things and the automations and how to
Yeah.
segment my audience. So then, because what I loved about Klaviyo is I can, depending on what someone does, I can send an email, like just build out an email funnel that you build once, that all I have to focus on is the top end, and they go through that email funnel depending on what they've done and where they've gone and what they've clicked on and what
Yeah.
they've viewed or what they've purchased. And then, so it took me a while though. And then once we started going, and no, sorry, the determining factor was Britt said, it doesn't matter how big our email list, it costs the same. And I was like, I'm in. I'm going to land. I'm in. Like, because it just felt,
I was
I
like,
felt like we were penalized a little bit for growing our list so big, which is what you need. But then you're paying through the roof for it. And that's what I
Yeah,
didn't like.
exactly. Now, can I
and I
ask a
told her, I'm
question
Let's
like, we
about,
create
can
pretty
launch
funnels.
as many courses, we can launch as many funnels, we can have as many people on our list. We can send thousands of emails a day if we wanted to. Like, it doesn't matter. And that was a
I do
huge,
love that
huge
feature.
factor. Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Yes.
Now, when you were doing the e-commerce and the Shopify, Ness, were you doing physical products or digital?
Digital.
Okay. So
All
you were
digital.
already doing the digital. Okay.
And courses.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
course.
And courses. Like I had everything automated.
Wow. All inside of Shopify. Okay. I don't normally hear too many people using
Yes.
Shopify for digital goods, and you had figured that out. Yeah, you are the queen
Yeah.
at Shopify.
Uh-huh.
But Brittany brought you over
Uh-huh.
to the light side over
Uh,
here to
I said, come
Systeme.io.
over here. Well, and that's a big
Come.
thing with
And
both of
then
us. Like
once I saw,
we have, go ahead.
you're right, keep going. Well, I think the biggest thing, sorry, for me, when we first built one funnel, is that because on e-commerce, like a 2 to 3% conversion rate is good. And then once Britt and I created the first funnel, and then we had a 50% conversion rate. I'm like, Shopify, what? Klaviyo, who? It's like, I don't know who they are. I'm jumping into systems now. Because it's just, you could
Okay.
build that flow and that connection and that email so much better, and really nurture
Wow.
your audience through where you want them to go. And that's what I love the most.
Okay. We're going to dive into more of that right there. So, Brittany, as y'all made that transition, right, from the Shopify, combining forces, right? Y'all are a dynamic duo. How did y'all do that? Like, did you immediately go into the digital resale vault? Like, there's a hint that there's
We
a
did
rebrand.
originally, yeah. So we originally started with just the Vault because Ness had lifetime access. I had the priceless portal or whatever we called it. And we combined those together. So Ness put all of her products in essentially because System's so amazing, right? I had the priceless portal on a completely different Systeme.io account and I could just copy that all over into our brand new account, which in one click. And I was like, Ness, this is so simple. And I felt so bad for her because I'm like, you have to plug in all of your products. This is going to take forever. But she had it done in literally like a day or two. I mean, this woman is like insane. And so we originally started with the digital resale vault and we just kind of let that be our main offer. And then from there, we just really listened to our audience and we were just trying to see like who's following us together now because this is a new a new brand and who's sticking along for the journey and who's ready to grow with us and what do they need. And so that was always our driving factor is like what does our audience need and how can we do this, because we can create offers and courses and products until our eyeballs fall out. Like we have so many ideas and not enough time to launch all of them, but it's really about always listening to our audience and how we can best serve them and help them for sure. So from
Awesome.
there, we launched courses and lots of other offers. Really, our courses have been our main focus because we have a lot of different things we love to teach on, whether it's starting your own digital business or getting creative with like AI and Midjourney and creating a clone of yourself. Like there's so many different offers that we have, or even now just running ads. So from there, now we're kind of going into this rebrand. I mean, AI is becoming this massive thing, and that is something that Ness and I really have been pouring a lot into. So we're at this stage now where it's like we're not really just the resale vault anymore. Like there's a lot more we've done in the past almost year together. So that's been a big driving factor for us in this big rebrand.
Okay. And when you say rebrand, is it going to stay the digital resale vault, or is this like a completely different brand that you're going to be building or are building?
It's all under one umbrella.
Okay.
But for the, you'll still know us as the resale vault, but we're moving into just a new name for it all.
Okay.
Ness maybe has better.
Ness, would you like to speak into the rebrand before we dive into like some of your nuts and bolts of your?
Yes, it's more that sometimes like when we go through, we actually love to rebrand every couple of months because our creativity changes and our style changes, and that's something that we've always done. So the rebrand is now because every time we rebrand, I'm like, oh my God, I love those. But then Britt comes up with something again amazing like 6 months later, and then I'm like, oh, I love that too. But we do want to move into more that AI strategies and marketing because there's so many things out there, and I think like anyone can use ChatGPT, anyone can try and create a prompt or an image or a reel, but when it comes from a marketing strategist point side of view, and with Britt, like her knowledge of a customer and knowledge of the audience, because it's more about what am I creating and then who is my audience and then how am I presenting that to my audience. And that's probably where we're moving into, is because that's where our audience is going. They more so want to know, how do we create our prompts? Because if anyone's ever seen our images, no one has images like we do. And if anyone ever sees our ads, you've never seen ads the way we run our ads. And that's what predominantly is what people want to know. How do we do it? And my whole thing when I started this is, if someone's willing to learn, we're willing to teach them. Because if you're not learning, then you're not growing. But like, I didn't know ads before I learned ads. I didn't know how to analyze data until I had someone teach me how to analyze data in a global brand that I absolutely love, and I got trained by the best. But I didn't know until someone taught me. So then that's how Britt and I sort of see it, is if people want to know how we do it, then we have no gatekeeping. Like, we're like, sure, this is how we did it. This is how we create our ads. This is how I got reels coming up, because that's the next big thing. Apparently, everyone's asking me, how do I create my reels? But it's really just the people that want to learn, and that's who we're here for. And that's why the rebrand is here and sort of moving into that. This is how you can do it. And lots of people rely honestly on ChatGPT to give them marketing strategies, and those marketing strategies are useless. So instead of wasting time and money, that's why even one of our funnels that we've set up has been absolutely, because we test everything first. I don't like to not test it first. I'm like, here's the data, here's the proof, this is why it works, these are the results. And then people go learn it. And then that's really it. It's so simple that it's like, we'll prove it works first, we'll test, we'll spend the money, we'll figure out what doesn't work, because I love to test everything. Poor Britt, she's like, oh my God, another one. But that's what we love doing.
Launched a new offer while I was sleeping.
Yeah. And so speaking of the offer, I did see that. I saw how your brain works with that. Is it the freebie to funnel or buyer?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Freebie
to
buyer.
Yes, this is a good one.
Yes. Right on the landing page is phenomenal. Like you're talking to all the archetypes of the specific type of buyer with the numbers, specifically that 0.17 cents, right? So can you walk us through, Ness, kind of the big picture of this, it's not a freebie, but this landing page that you have, like how you would walk someone through, just kind of like the 30,000 view foot, because specifically it was about creating the freebie, attracting the buyer, nurturing them, and then turning them into, I guess, a loyal buyer, right? Someone who's invested into your brand.
Yeah.
And so, but looking at it from the analytical perspective, and then Brittany, I'd love to hear from your perspective of the nurturing of that, the design process.
Yeah. Awesome. So the biggest things when it comes to ads is the way ads work now is not the same that they worked last year or even 6 months ago, and trying to keep up with that. And I've worked with huge brands that are all struggling because they're like, ads are so expensive now, this, and this. And we see that in our ad account. But Britt and I have been working on this for months on, we don't want to give Meta money. Like, how do we get the cheapest audience but the highest quality to us? And then what do we have to do to convert them? And that's something that Britt and I have been working on for months with. And then, so what the biggest thing that I keep going back to is your email list. Your email ads is designed to just get people's attention to your landing page. So then the landing page is, so once they're there, if you have a high CTR, like a click-through rate, and a low cost per click, then that ad to me is winning. And there was so many things that we would have. There was some ads we would have a 32% click-through rate on. And I could look at this and I'd be like, Britt, what, the audience is there, they're watching, they're clicking, like, what's going on? And then Britt's like, a freebie. And I've been against freebies from the day I started. Like, Britt knows this. Everybody probably knows this. And because unless you have the right strategy, they don't work, and you're just spending money building an email list of not people that are going to purchase. So I kept saying to Britt, if we're going to do it, it's got to be the right way. It's got to be, there's a funnel involved, there's a strategy involved where they go through and they do specific things. And so that's exactly what Britt and I were working on. And then Britt can come up with these freebies and these absolutely amazing things like out of the drop of a hat. And then I'm like, oh, this is exciting. And then I get to launch and market it. And so the idea was we need to grow our email list first. So we've tested a few different options that we have on the freebie and even lower price points as well. And the freebie works the best. Like, we got an 8 ROAS on one of our ones that is just insane. Like, I looked at the stats this morning. I think we've spent $200 on it since the 14th of August, and we're already at $2,500 made from that freebie funnel. And and it was how we've done it that I was just like, and when I saw these results, I was like, Brett, like, this is out of control to have an 8 ROAS on a freebie funnel. And our second one that we have is a 6 consistently every day. And I was like, because more people are hesitant now than ever before, because there's so many gurus that are out there that are claiming I can get you 1 million views in 24 hours. And you're like, no, you're giving them bots and fake people. Like, you're not doing it properly. So people are more hesitant than ever. And this is something that Britt and I have discussed heavily. And I can see, especially with ads and the audience and what I see on socials. And as a strategist, I talk to Britt because she's the creative genius. I'm like, this is what I'm seeing. How do we fix this? Like, what do we need to do? And then she goes and does her thing. And so it was more about, we just need to bring them to us, because by the time they get to us, they're going to know that we're here. We don't ghost them. We actually help. And we share all our information. Like, we give everything. And that's the best thing about our community, is they know that we're always here for them. And so it was more about, how do we solve that problem? Because we all see socials, we all see what people claim, we all see what people say. And there's lots of things that Britt and I don't agree with, but we're respectful to everybody. And we're just like, oh, well, that's what you're doing, and we're over here. Like, it's got nothing to do with us. And we're just going to do things our way. And then Britt comes up with the creative genius that she is, and she comes up with these freebies, and then we just work on it.
So, Brittany, can I ask you a question? Speaking of the ads, what do you think converts the highest? A static post, reels, or it's a little sprinkling of it all?
Images. Imagery is always, and this is always, I'm a photographer, so like for me, images, I know how big of a reach they can have. Like, I know that a high quality image is going to outperform any low quality image you could ever have. And so Mid Journey is one of the courses we offer, and we offer that because, one, when we jumped into that, like, it lit us up in a new way that, if you've ever felt burnt out, like, the creativity you feel when you're inside there creating is just next level. But also the image quality that it can produce is like nothing I had ever seen before. And so I really became super passionate about that. I was a photographer, so imagery is like something that will always outperform. And even I just sent Ness a screenshot today. I think our images were outperforming anything else we have on our page by like almost 300%. And it's
Wow.
like, it's outperforming like what others are doing, you know, how it gives you kind of the average of like what the market is. And then it's like, this is what your brand is doing. It's like, okay, yeah, images, that's what it is. But that is a big part. I mean, one, people are going to take you seriously. They
Hmm.
notice that it's a scroll stopping image. You have 2 seconds for people to decide if they're going to stop and pay attention to what you're doing or scroll past. And so
Yeah.
images are always going to be huge. Reels come in pretty close second. And so Ness is amazing at reels. Like she's all the reels. I'm a lot of the images. She's also great at images. But you know, just together, like the visual is such an important part of the brand. And that's what we're so
Okay.
passionate about teaching as well, for sure. So
Now, I'm gonna ask another question about those images and the reels. Does it feature people or is it just your product?
no, we do a lot of ourselves. Like we have a digital AI clone of ourselves. So then we will, you know, I can be like skydiving over Dubai. I had a picture and I put my face on basically a model image that we created. And so it looks like I'm skydiving over Dubai, which I've never done. And it got tons of engagement. Like people were like, oh, this is clearly AI. I'm like, of course, but it stopped the scroll, right? Like it did the job
Yeah.
it's supposed to do. And so we do have a lot of our images that we, you know, go crazy creating and being just creative. And like when we did Ads Lab launch, we are scientists with an ad stuff, you know, like lab stuff all over. So it's definitely some of us, but it's also just visual images of, I mean, anything you can think of. Like we've done over the top, we've done, you know, just kind of like pretty women, like, you know, I mean, literally anything. We've had visuals of men, like we have anything you can imagine. So it
Yeah.
just depends on the offer and like what angle we're going with is really how we figure out like what's the visual. And honestly, a lot of time it just comes from us being like, let's do this. This sounds fun. Like having fun with the business is highest
Yeah.
priority so we can avoid any sort of burnout ever. So, you know, anytime we're feeling like in like a rut, it's like we're just let's go create, let's go like make some weird stuff up and see what happens.
And that's a great combination of using the AI, but also with your expertise and understanding the funnels and the strategy. Like this is working, this isn't working. Oh, this ad with this
Yeah.
imagery of you flying through Dubai, you know, parachuting and stuff like that. And I wanted the emphasis on, is there a human being featured versus it's just a, you know, a stock image of a PDF. You know, it helps people better understand kind of those stepping stones and
Yeah.
the strategy that you have there. And so
Yeah.
now, specifically with your offer, you have the freebie, attracting them with the ads. And then
Hmm.
once they get into your nurturing system, I'd love to know more, maybe some hacks, best practices of creating a funnel system
Ooh.
with a strategy.
Yeah. And I will say too, like being the face of your brand is so important. That's what we preach all the time. Like faceless was a really big thing for a while, but just having a face to put with your brand, even if it's not your face, but you have an AI influencer you've created, like that is going to build trust the absolute fastest. But I'll let Ness kind of talk more on like the nurturing part. I mean, we have so much inner workings, and Ness is like the queen of the workflow. When it comes to our customers, nurturing them, really our community is huge. Like that's where we, you know, just listen to what people need and the feedback we get. We get emails all the time of like, wow, this was amazing, or you know, just the nice things people say in the community as well. So that really drives me and Ness to be like, this is what they're wanting, or this is what they loved, and you know, let's do more of that. But when it comes to like the nurturing sequence and stuff, that's definitely Ness.
All right.
Okay, so it really comes down to, because it's not one rule fits all, and that's the biggest thing. That's the thing as a marketing strategist is you can have one offer and have one funnel and one strategy, but that can be completely different to this another funnel and another strategy. So in the freebie one specifically is what's the purpose of it? The purpose of it is just to get people's email addresses to grow our emails, that we build that we're not at that barrier of price point. So price point's not an issue. So they're wanting to join us because they like our visuals, saw our ad, want our freebie, whatever it may be. But then that's when Britt and I meet of like, okay, but then what are we offering to them next? And that's when an upsell comes in. And then from there, when we have, so we only, here's one little strategy that I will give away. So we have one upsell, then we have the thank you page. The thank you page, though, is the most important page because so you'll have your thank you, but then down the bottom, we actually have our mock-up images of every single offer that we have that people can just click through to somewhere else and click through to someone else. So even though they might have got a freebie, then they regardless, they all go to that page, whether they take the upsell or not. But I think the last time I looked on our funnel, which was yesterday, I think we have a 75% conversion on our upsell, which is ridiculous. So that's amazing. But what's happening is we're already building that flow out from the thank you page that they're going to our mid-journey course, our clone to content, our ads lab. Because one of the things that we did is because I'm such strategy driven that I'm like, everything's got to have a purpose. Like I've got to be able to track every single point so I know where the drop off is because it's literally sometimes you can fix one thing and it completely change your funnel. And so that's why I like to really deep dive into what it's doing. And that thank you page was huge for us because it just takes a lot of people to your different offers just so that that first point of barrier is either a freebie and they're coming and they're like, oh, so you're sparking their interest. So when they see you next time on your socials or the next time they see an email, they already have that familiarity with your brand. So you've already overcome that to begin with. And that's the biggest one in the freebie to buyer. But the biggest, I had a meeting quickly. I had an audit strategy meeting with one of our clients and he set up his freebie. And I gave him all the instructions and he followed it. But then when I jumped in, what I didn't realize is that the setup of your ad is more important than your funnel. Like if your setup of your ad is not correct, it will absolutely tank. So he ran his, because I was like, you have the training, you do your first ad, then I'll review it and then I'll make changes, but then I can teach you why. So then because my whole training when it comes to ads is I will teach you everything I know, but you're going to do it first. Then it's a training process because then I'm training you on what you need to know. And so so I want to see him make mistakes. That's the best thing to do is make a mistake. So then I'll be like, this is why. Then they're going to remember the next time I'm not going to do that. And then I'm going to do this. And so I jumped in and I was like, everything, like his visuals, his ads, everything was right. It was just the whole structure was set up wrong. And then so I changed it and I did go into a creative zone. So I built out all new reels for him anyway because I couldn't help myself. And within 48 hours, he had conversions. So when he was running them, he had no conversions. He had no purchases. His cost per click was super high. His landing page was super high. His click-through rate was super low. And then I jumped in yesterday and we have, I think it was 9 purchases, a cost per purchase of between like $6 and $11, a high CTR. And I was like, and he was just like, I was like, it's the setup as well. The setup of your ad literally determines the type of people that you're bringing in. And that's probably where in ads I know the most because I know every little inch of ads manager that I know exactly what every campaign does and what type of audience that brings. But then more specifically, what do we need to do for that audience to convert them? And so that's why it's like the funnel's a huge part, but so's the audience and who you're targeting because that determines your funnel. That determines what you're saying. That determines your email nurture sequence. And then where are they going after that?
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot.
It sounds like you understand the customer just as much. You said that was Brittany's expertise, but you were really leaning into it there because you were saying his ad wasn't set up right. And so the bait that he was dangling for his potential ideal client wasn't working. It wasn't the right bait, But
Yeah.
but you're saying his funnel was set up and structured right, but the bait, he wasn't using the right type of bait to pull them in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
All
I just
right.
made my changes that I normally do. I simplified it and it started working. And that's the thing. It just takes one person. And that's the biggest thing that even he said. He paid 3 times as much than what he has working with us and got less. And I was like, and we've just had 2 sessions and he's completely blown away. And then that made me realize, I was like, so that people don't actually teach you how and why, and so you don't do it again. I was like, that blew my mind.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
now that you mentioned that, I don't think I saw services. Can y'all give me kind of like a menu list of what you offer? Like, what are your courses? What is your community? Where is your community? And this services that you have with this gentleman, like, do you do 1-to-1? Come on, spill it.
Yeah.
You go,
So
Britt.
we have a lot. So our courses, like we've said, we started with a few and we've grown it to be what our audience needs. So we have Midjourney, which is huge, like we've said, for visuals. Like that is the course you need if you are just needing any sort of visuals for your brand. And most people are like, you're probably really tired of looking online for stock photo sites for hours. Like that's what we used to do. And this has changed the game for us. We can go on there and put in a prompt of ours and in literally seconds have new imagery that we can build an entire offer or funnel around. It's incredible. From there, we have clone to content, which is another course, which is where you will create a clone of yourself and be able to really with Midjourney and those two together, like those go together perfectly because we use Midjourney a lot to, infuse our clone into that as well. But with clone to content, you're going to have that AI clone of yourself and, be able to show up for your brand when you don't want to. Like, I typically don't look like this every day, but my clone looks really put together and she's showing up. We have also Grow from Zero, which is for anyone who's wanting to literally get into a digital business and grow from zero. We cover everything inside of there. We have how to get going on branding, how to figure out who your audience is, what your offers are, even beginning of Facebook ads. Like we have so much inside of Grow from Zero. It should probably be like triple the cost, but it is a great starter course for anyone jumping in because you can really get far with that. Then we have, yes, we do have 2-on-1. So Ness and I, we pretty much always do 2-on-1. Sometimes, one of us will jump in with a client, but we have 2-on-1 mentorship for anyone that's wanting. And right now we have Ads Lab, which is our newest, biggest launch. And that is, of course, another ads course. And this is, beginners can absolutely jump in, but it really will show the most difference for the people that have been running ads and are trying to, find new footing. Because like Ness said, so much has changed over the last even 6 months with ads that what you knew before is probably not working anymore. So if you're hitting that dead end, like this will completely change everything around and go over so much of what we just talked about as well of like why it matters. Because as Ness said, so many people forget that part. Like they are just out there, you know, telling you to do this, this, and this, but like not the why. And the why is always the most important part. Like the how is great, but you also need to understand the why or you don't have a full system. So
Yeah.
those are our main things. And with the Ads Lab, if you join, we have an inner circle, which is what Ness was referring to. So with that, we can deep dive into your ad account and really show you like what's going on. And so that is another community. But we do have a free community as well on Facebook. And so even as Ness said, like our thank you page, even with a freebie, like our main goal at the end of the day would be for people to join our Facebook group. And because they're going to see our customers are in there, like, we're not just out here, saying like we did 25K in a day. Like we are showing you, hey, we have done this. We tested this. It works. This is how it worked. And, people can jump in there and can see the results we have in the community that we have built and know that we're not just blowing smoke and mirrors. So,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
are main ones. Did I forget any, Matt? I did. Any of the main
I there's so
courses?
many.
I know. Like if you find an ad of ours, it might take you to a different offer you've never heard of before, and that's kind of the goal. Is we have a lot of little nuggets out there as well of like, things that are cheaper. Some are on the higher price side, and like you're probably going to find us one way or another. And we hope that you join, into our circle because we want to see you succeed at the end of the day.
Well, I have a question to piggyback on that. You said community, so you have an inner circle one. One's on Facebook. That one's free.
Yeah.
Y'all go
Yep.
join. And your inner circle, is that I'm trying to learn more about communities hosted on Systeme.io. Is it hosted on
Yes, it
System?
is.
It
It
is.
is.
It
Yep,
is.
Ooh,
it is. It's our
spill the
first
And it's
tea.
one,
been,
actually.
but yeah, it's our first one. We did have a school one, and there were so many things that we didn't like about it. And then it was like, okay, there was, yeah, lots of pain points that we had. And then we ended up shutting that one down because we were pivoting what we were doing. And then communities came out and Britt was like, check this out. I'm like, we're going to do something with that. And then the ad slide came out, the inner circle came out. But what I've done, especially as a coach, like, and I never really labeled myself as that before I started, and now I'm like, okay, I'm an ads coach, is everything is so easily recorded in systems. Like, so we have the inner circle of like, just here's the instructions of what I need people to follow for us to be able to do our job. And then, like, even in the courses, I'm building out a complete strategy around their brand, around their results, around their ads that they have access. Like, it's so easy for me to do. And that's the best thing. And then I just give them an email. I'm like, new update in there. Like, I've just added a new module. It's live. Everything's there. Links go through to either like their ad account or here's a preview of this or it's amazing. And that's what I've loved about it is it's so, because I work really fast paced that if it starts to get too tricky, I'm like, oh, I can't do it. Like, I just want to put like screenshots,
Yeah.
emails and links. Like, that's what I want to put in there.
Simple.
And
Yes.
and then my client though, he was like, because he was sleeping, and then I was like, here's everything you need to do. Like, I had all his training in there, and he was like, oh my gosh, like, this is amazing. And I was like, but it's because of the systems that I use that I can finally do it in the way that we want to do. And it's so easy. And it's
Yeah.
I love
easy to
that.
And
nurture, especially
and
these
it
high paying clients. Like, you really want to look after them in the best way possible. And
Mhm.
I'm not in emails. Emails aren't getting lost. Like, I
yeah.
literally just built out a course for him around his brand and his ads and his stats that he can go back to at any time. And it's so easy.
Yeah. And with the community, like as Ness said, there was a lot of integrations and things that had to take place for us to use the
Yes.
tool. And we just did not love that. If somebody canceled, we were like removing them by ourselves and we were just like, oh, like this has to be automated. Like that was the biggest hang up for us with that. And so a huge reason for wanting to test out the communities within System was one, they've been doing so many upgrades to it that I'm like, okay, like I see the competition, like this, you've got a lot of great things coming out that are like, I'm listening. And so we were just kind of waiting for the right time to launch into a new community because that was such a big part of those pain points. And we love that, like with the communities, you can schedule posts, like you can automate everything. So if somebody joins and if somebody cancels, like if they cancel, they get, kicked out automatically. You don't have to go and like say, hey, this person was, remove their
Yeah.
subscription. Like
It's automated.
it'll remove them
That's
whenever it's
crazy.
time. And so, those are things that were like, those are no brainers. Like if there's something missing, they'll improve on it. That's what I've always said about System. I'm like, one great thing is they listen to the needs of the people. And I've seen that over and over and over again. Just even myself, like I've said, this needs to be better. And then next thing I know, it's better. And so, that's a huge benefit and we're not paying more. Like that's so incredible. And also like we've even been able to earn as just being an affiliate talking about System. I'm like, that was a huge start for me. When I was first starting, I mean, I've made almost 10K just promoting System as an affiliate. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying, hey, everybody join System every single day. Like that's also automated, so it's like, to know that like you can, show people, hey, you can start a business for free. You're in good hands here. Like the most you're ever going to pay is $97 a month. That's on the unlimited plan and you have unlimited everything you could need. But there's just so many benefits to it. And we've seen a lot with just, like I said, the upgrades and things too. So we're we're system fans. Like we love it.
I love that. Okay, so
Yeah.
two more techie questions and then we're going to land the plane. So
Okay.
you have in different places like your digital resale, right? That's kind of like what it was. Where do you see the MRR and the PLR market going? Which, for anyone listening, master resale rights and the private label rights, like that's kind of where y'all were. But like Nessa said, there's a shift. Even 6 months ago, things aren't the same. Like,
hmm hmm
can you talk about that journey from that to what you're doing now?
Yeah. I think it kind of, I don't want to say it got ruined, but in a sense it almost did. Like there are a lot of, like Ness said, like the people that claim that it can be quick and fast and easy. While that is 100%, like you can have a quick start, but like it doesn't come without hard work. That's what we've always said. Like you still have to work hard. And there's a lot out there of like, you can do this and buy this and flip it and make this. And it's like, well, you might be able to, but like you can't claim that kind of stuff. Like that's not getting us anywhere, as a community. There's been too many of those types of people out there that are kind of claiming too much, I guess. So it's still definitely there. Like we have a lot of MRR products that we promote and sell and run ads to, and we've seen that it's still profitable. I think it's just moving into a new direction of like Ness said, like people are more afraid to kind of trust people. And so they're more hesitant when it comes to buying because, well, one, either they've been burned or maybe they have too many MRR products sitting there, different things like that, that it just needs a little bit more reviving, I guess, as a community for us to come together and say, like, let's all stop doing that. Like, let's all, it doesn't just come easily overnight and you don't just, you can make money in your sleep, but it's going to take you a while, like to set everything up the proper way. It's not just putting one reel out there and hope it flies.
Yeah.
It takes an actual system working no matter what product you have, whether it's personal use only, MRR, PLR, you have to have the system in place. Like that is the main focus.
Which y'all have something on your website that says the affiliate link. And so can anyone sign up to be an affiliate for what you're promoting?
Yes. Yes. We have an
Yeah.
affiliate program. So we
Okay.
have that as
And
well.
which
So we
I
do.
which is
And
the
yeah,
better system because people can vouch for you, the personal brand, the how
yeah,
you give the why, the how, the what, you hold their hand. And so it's
yeah,
there's actually something attached to that where you are teaching them, okay, this is the hard work so you can actually create the passive income eventually.
yeah,
And so
Yeah.
your
absolutely.
affiliate and so you have your affiliate system that is a double dipping into what
hmm
you're already creating.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a big part too. Like the affiliate community is massive in itself. And when I first started, I was an affiliate for a product, and that was kind of how I got into the digital space to begin with. So that was a big part of my journey. And I just also wanted to have that as well. And it made it easy with System to be able to have an affiliate program. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Like I've been at MLMs before and I know how the tiers work and I know how quickly that kind of thing can grow just by promoting other people's products. And, Ness and I, we pride ourselves on having a stand up brand. And so we're like, we want other people to be able to share that as well and get rewarded for it. So we have an affiliate lounge when people join us as an affiliate where they can get kind of inside of like, here are all of the things that you can promote and here's the type of commission you can earn and here's how to set it up. So it's a very like simple and easy process, but that was a big part of when we first started. We wanted to make sure that people could promote without having to invest a lot either and just kind of get started.
That's awesome. And then having a lounge, I think, is just phenomenal because a lot of people will sign up and they're like, I don't know what to do. And
Yeah.
again, holding their hand and the why
Yes.
and the how. So
hmm
as we come near the end in your bios, y'all aren't afraid to kind of talk revenues and throwing out those six figures. Can y'all talk about the reward of having a digital business and, the kind of financial opportunities y'all have had because of the programs that you've built on Systeme.io?
Yeah.
I'll
Like
let Ness go
it's
first.
yeah, it's everything. Like we earn more money than what we ever could working full time for somebody else. So when in our minds, it's like we're continually learning so that like my biggest goal is to be debt free. I'm literally got like one more thing and I'm debt free. And that's what success and freedom means to me is just I don't have debts. We own our cars, we like besides that electricity and stuff, but we're so close to paying off our house and then we're debt free. Like that's freedom to me. That's where it's like this is amazing. And that's the end goal is we're so close to it. Britt has her own goals that she's working towards as well. But it's just that feeling of being able to work wherever you want to, earn more money that you ever can, but it's on your terms. Like, especially as women, especially as we go through different stages in life, some days we just can't. Some days, like it's either the kids or this is happening or our bodies or our hormones or whatever it may be. And you're just like, I just can't today. But if you work full time, you have to go and you have to deal with your boss or whatever it may be. But this just changes your life when you really invest your time in yourself. I always say this is because I think women are the most underutilized resource that there is in this world. Like we can, like there is nothing we can't, we create children, but we can create anything when we're learning. And like Brit is also just, she's on the opposite side of the world and literally built the same life that I was doing as well. It's like, you can do this and you can do it and have the freedom and be there for your family. It does take balance. It does juggle. It does. We have the ups and downs the same as anybody else. But that's the best thing is it's yours. Like you get to do it the way you want to. Like that's what I love the most.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. How would
Yeah.
you
And I think,
define success, Brittany?
yeah, I think, when you say like we're not afraid to throw numbers, I think that always stems from for me, like thinking about the very first time I ever saw someone share something like that and how inspired it made me to be like, wait, there actually is a way to make $20,000 a month online. Like, I need to figure this out. Like that was the spark that I needed. So if we can be that spark for someone else to like believe in themselves and like take that first step, that will make everything completely worth it. Like that's at the end of the day what it's about. But also just to back it up and say like we know it's hard work and you do need to have the right system, but it is possible. Like we've paved the road. Here's the car. Like get in. Like that's kind of at the end of the day what it's about. But just like Ness said, like being able to be debt free and travel with our family and just do the things that we want. Like I don't want to have to look at my bank account and worry. I don't, that's always for me, the biggest stressor in my life has always been money. And I'm the type of person like I want to break the cycle. I don't want to keep going through it. So if I keep hitting that and I keep feeling stuck, I have to figure out a way forward. I have to figure out a new path. And so when that was a big issue for me was my bank account, I was like, I got to figure out a better way and I'm going to do it anything it takes to get there and get to a point where I don't have to worry. Like the worry is gone, the stress is gone. Like Ness and I don't come from wealthy families. Like we've had hard upbringings, we've had a hard life, and we don't want that for our children. And we want them to not have the everyday stressors of life that we've gone through, and just make their lives easier. So the more time we can be together, and the more that we can, set them up for the future, that's all we want.
Wow. I love both of your success, what success means to both of you. And I can see why y'all have this partnership and why you're succeeding so well together with this program. So,
Yeah.
our final question. If someone is sitting on the edge, hesitating to take that first step, what would you say to them?
The
Ness, would
only
you like to
way.
start? Oh,
Oh, okay, I will.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
will say jump both feet first because it's absolutely worth it. Like we, especially as women, I think I'm also talking to women, that's who our audience is we know that we sometimes second guess ourselves. And that's exactly like we've gone through that. But the biggest way we've learned is you learn failing forward. Like everything's a lesson. So it's like what's the lesson? And let's go again. Like, I'm a solutions person, and I'm like, and I look at something as, if they can do it, so can I. Like, that's my mentality,
Mhm.
is they
Mhm.
can do that, then so can I. I just got to figure out my own way and then learn from there. But jump both feet in, you won't be disappointed, and you've got it. Don't, like,
Yeah.
everyone can do this. It is actually, especially because it's literally just following training, but you become, like, I now find I'm the most creative that I've ever been. But when I started my brand, I felt like I couldn't create a thing and it would give me anxiety. Now I'm like, oh, this. And that's the best thing, is creativity breeds happiness. Like, in hard moments, creativity is like just designing whatever you want, and then you get paid for it. That's the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that the only way to feel unstuck, or if you're feeling unsure, like the only way forward is through action and movement. You can't sit in the like what if. You're too stuck in your mind. Like, the only way forward is through action, and that's how you're going to start to succeed, is just by moving forward and staying consistent and doing it every day until it becomes so much of a routine that you have no other choice but to continue on. So move, get in, jump 2 feet in, because like what's waiting on the other side is just incredible. And the confidence that comes with it, like what you are able to prove to yourself and to others, but to yourself more than anything, and the type of person you can be, and just the things that you dream of coming true, like being able to spend time with your family and that freedom, like it's able to happen. You can do it.
Oh, I love it. I love both of it. And if anyone is sitting on the edge right now and they're ready to take that first step, how can they connect with y'all after this podcast?
For sure. Well, you can definitely join our Facebook group because we're always in there. You can email us. You can, jump on our website. We're any channel, like we're Facebook, Instagram mainly is where we're hanging out. So jump in our group, talk with us in there, and we can help you get started with wherever you're at. We like to meet people where they are, because so many people come from, all walks of life and where they're at in their journey right now. So
I love that. Well, thank you both ladies for being on the podcast and sharing your journey and your success stories.
thank
Thank
you for
you. Thanks for
having
having
us.
us.
Thank you. All right. Thank you all for listening to another success story with Systeme.io. Keep creating and keep dreaming.
Yes.